Hello guys, so welcome to this week's Matt's Garage. I thought I'd do something slightly different this week. Recently embarked on a journey to Lake Como from UK. We've done a European road trip. In this video, I'll show you the various routes we took throughout. These would all chop and change throughout the route you take, but I'll show our journey and where we stayed. So the first leg of the journey, we left UK. Obviously, we jumped on the train tunnel, went through, hopped off the other side from Calais, and then we went through we first stopped was Champagne, gorgeous place. We'll drop some photos and stuff on this video. And then from there we shot to Strasbourg. From Strasbourg went to Lucerne, which was obviously Lake Lucerne. And then from there we visited the final destination of Lake Como. With the first leg of the journey, this was 4 countries in 4 days. It didn't feel that rushed. It was more the fact that we had a wedding to get to in Lake Como. It was fine in my eyes, but some people might want to stay for longer. On the way home, it took a lot longer, and we stopped at multiple destinations, which meant we could enjoy each place we stopped at. We carried out this journey in September. I was aware that the weather might be slightly iffy in places. However, it was. Furka Pass, Gotthard Pass, all the other ones, they were shut. They were actually open, and then we got nearer the destination and they were shut. But I'd rather it be safe, so thank you for closing them that day. We then carried on embarking the journey, obviously, and then planned it on the way back. So bear that in mind, that if they are closed and you do go this time of year, then you can always sort of rejig the journey as to where you go and sort of cut back across and then go up again. The views are absolutely insane. And where you come through Champagne and France, and then obviously you go through down into Switzerland, we had so many different weather transformations on the way through. France, lovely, glorious sunshine, probably the warmer place. Then we hit through into Switzerland coming down that way, and it was raining, misty, but then we come out the other side into Como, and it was lovely and warm, but the windiest place I've ever been to in that time of year. We looked at the weather, and I had packed for warm weather, as everyone, and we got to Lake Como, and it wasn't as warm as what we thought. Say jeans and jumper weather, but at night it was cold. It was dropping down. So bear that in mind, obviously, as well, because if I would go Lake Como again, I'd probably go maybe when it was a bit warmer to get that side of it. We stayed on the other side of Lake Como, which was Hotel Villa Cipressi. Absolutely stunning. However, they do have a lot of weddings on. We were there for a wedding, a family wedding. Absolutely fantastic. Best place for it. But it was fairly busy on weekends. So we got there, I think on a Thursday, left on a Monday. It was literally like you had your own place. You get the boat over. We didn't get the boat because I set my sat nav to no boats. I'm glad I did, because it was very low watching the people come off the other side. And I think I'd have scraped on it. Anyone with a slightly lower car would probably scrape. So you can drive around a mountain. It's quite precarious, but it's good fun. That's what we do this for. Route home. This was more of a dedicated stop places. We tried to keep it a bit sort of free rein on the way back. So it's kind of like, we'll stop one place and then decide where we're going to go next. I found it was quite a good way, but it was kind of stressful sometimes, because when it got to the weekend, in the week, you could kind of book hotels anywhere you wanted, or Airbnbs, or anywhere like you'd like to stay. But when it came to the weekend, we found that Friday, Saturday, places were very, very booked up. Route home, as follows. Lake Como to Locarno. Locarno through to Thun. Stunning place. They all are. Thun to Eguisheim, if that's how you say it. We're now into France. Champagne region. Eguisheim into Troyes. And that's a bigger sort of, it's kind of medievally again. And then from there, we went to Etoges, which was a final sort of kind of chateau, which I wanted to stay at. And then from there, we headed off to Buckinghamshire, back to where I live. Plenty of scope on the way back to change different various parts, but these are all very picturesque places, and the journeys were good. But be sure to set your sat nav to the smaller roads and avoiding motorways. Sometimes you have to go on a motorway and a bigger road. However, if you check both routes in the morning and see which one, because some of them I was finding that if I'd avoid a motorway, it would only be 24 minutes, 25 minutes longer, but we'd enjoy all of the picturesque coastal roads, all around mountains. The scenery was insane. Definitely do that, otherwise you'll end up just driving basically on the M25 all the way there. A major in France, the toll roads, it's like they're just for UK citizens. They are very expensive, some of them. So just make sure you incorporate this in to your journey as to where you go, but then you might not want to spend the money on tolls. So yeah, just bear that in mind. So one of my main attractions, Furka Pass. It's the only pass I actually managed to get on with this road trip. I was planning to do many of them, but obviously the weather was bad, everything else. So the Furka was one of my main, I know it's fairly commercialised, but that is the main one I wanted to go to. Did not disappoint. It was absolutely insane. No speed limits were broken. My wife was in brace position for quite a lot of it. When you get them twin turbos singing in the mountains like that and you're blasting down there, it's just insane. It's a must visit, must visit. Next year, I'm actually planning on doing a road trip from UK, probably to Furka, or maybe, because a lot of people do want to go and visit Furka. It wasn't that busy, but when you go up to the hotel, it's fairly busy. And that was on a weekday as well. I think it's always busy. If we were to do a trip there, might do some night drive, not night, but dusk driving up there, get up there, and then obviously then we could get some good shots, have some photographers floating around. Drop some comments if that's something that you'd be interested in. We're UK based, Buckinghamshire. We'd head off, obviously going that way, Calais, and then go down into Switzerland. We'd make it short and sweet, just get there, do some passes, and then come back, stay at a hotel, socialise, talk about cars, you know, everything else. Interesting point about Thun, there's a river running through, there's a lock, a toll, and literally the wave is about, I would say, 3-4 foot high, and they're surfing on the wave in the middle of the city. Absolutely brilliant. Eguisheim, that is very medievally. If you like the Cotswolds kind of Oxford twist sort of thing, that there's gorgeous, absolutely stunning. One major is a lot of us, when we work on our own cars, we've got these vehicles we purchase. You might not know anything about mechanics. I don't know as much, as some. So driving, coming down through the tunnel, one of the longest tunnels, I'm sure it was about 14, 16 miles long. We're coming down, I'm driving, I look down and think, oh my God, that horrible light, boff, engine management. I was like, this is insane. I bought the Porsche from a well-known, established Porsche dealer. So I was thinking, oh my God, this can't be. I was waiting for it to go into limit mode, thinking to myself, I hadn't told my wife yet. Anyway, cut that long story short, we got to into Switzerland. I was going to reset the battery, but I thought better leave it and see. Emailed Porsche, straight away back in English, said to me, bring it in the morning, drove there, light was still on. The guy took it out for a test spin, apparently he had to test the turbos. There's stuff that when he came back, there's stuff under the seat that came out I didn't even know was under there. He definitely had a good fun because the emissions in Switzerland, apparently you can't have exhaust systems and things like that. So he must have had a whale of a time. So what I'm trying to say is, if you've got a classic car, modern classic, new car, and you know it's the back of your mind that you need this AA cover, RAC, obviously it's a must, but don't worry about it. Go, enjoy it. If anything happens, you're always going to be rescued. So big shout out to Porsche Switzerland for that. Thank you. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Bit of a different one this week. I've been up to plenty of other things which will continue along the journey, but I just thought we'd do something different. Share this journey. Feel free to drop any questions below. If you're planning your own road trip, definitely do it. Just plan as much as you can for where you want to go. And then my advice would be is just to keep it kind of free reign on where you stay, because you might arrive somewhere and think this is absolutely stunning. I want to stay here for 3 nights and then continue on after. So drop your comments below, questions. I'll answer as many as I can. You know the drill. Share it, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next week.